So we're standing here on the corner of 46th and Market Street. This is where Michael Newby was shot and killed. Michael Newby was a young black male. He was killed on January 3rd, 2004, and he was murdered by Mackenzie Mattingly. And Mackenzie Mattingly, he didn't get any charges. The jury knocked it down, so he didn't get in any trouble. But the police chief, Robert White, he actually paid Mackenzie Mattingly $60,000 so he would just quit. He's like, hey, here's $60,000, just quit, just give up. So he actually got paid 60 grand to kill a young black man who did nothing wrong. Michael Newby got shot in the back 3 times, and Mackenzie Mattingly said it was a drug deal gone bad, which is weirdly worded to me because it seems like he was asking for drugs, and if he was asking for drugs, that would be entrapment. So right here is the location where Michael Newby got shot, 46th and Market Street. And I heard that it was like at the liquor store, he was running away and wound up getting shot 3 times in the back. If you get shot 3 times in the back, I mean, he didn't have to do that. He's running away. You don't have to shoot anybody in the back for any reason. Just driving along the road here. There's a police officer right up here, up the way. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe that police officer is out and about. If there were good police officers, they would protest the bad police officers. They're thicker than thieves. They get away with every crime in the book. Samantha Ramsey got shot, which means that it's open season on us, and we're just a bunch of fish in a barrel. So I better put this up before I get arrested for filming. Like Louisville, there's probably about like 15 Trayvon Martins, Eric Garners that have happened here, but nothing's exploded. You know, there have been riots and stuff. Do you recall any of the shootings?
No.
Like, you don't remember them, or you just don't memorize them? Like, you don't remember them happening and the media and everybody complaining about it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the stuff happening, media complaining about it, but as far as me actually trying to like register the stuff, I mean, nothing's going to happen from it. You know what I'm saying? If police did it, police aren't going to be convicted of it. Why take time out of my day job, you know what I'm saying, risk getting fired and whatnot, messing up my day-to-day life, you know, in order to actually try to take interest in something like that.
I'm on the interstate. I do want to mention that the last black man who was killed by the LMPD was just 2011 or 12 or so, just a few years ago. It was on the Watterson Expressway. This section here is the Shawnee and the Gloria Powers Expressway. Henry Watterson was riding along with the Nathan Bedford Forrest in the Confederacy during the Civil War. Nathan Bedford Forrest is the one who founded the KKK. So we have an expressway named after, you know, ex-Confederate buddy of the founder of the KKK. Well, Leon Brackens got killed where Breckenridge lane or road intersects with Watterson. There's a Breckenridge lane and there's a Breckenridge road. And so that's very fitting, you know. Breckenridges were slave owners, and then Watterson was associated with the KKK.
That there is an active internal investigation into this incident. The man at the center of this incident says all he ever wanted was a ride to the store.
It amazes me. I can't believe they got away with it.
Leon Brackens says he was just a helpless passenger. Behind the wheel, Rhonda Sullivan. Police had a warrant out for her arrest, and when they tried to pull her over in Jeffersonville on April 21st, 2011, she took off, leading officers on a high-speed chase across 3 counties. Brackens is in the passenger seat, frantically calling 911.
Scared to death, don't know what time to tell her to stop, so I won't know how to go wreck or get shot or hurt any kind of way.
And he was a 90-pound-year-old, he was like a 60-year-old, 90-pound, sickle cell anemic old man, old skinny little man. He had his hands up, he had his seatbelt on, he's the one that called 911, and they didn't give a shit. They pulled him out of the truck and beat the fuck out of him until he was dead. He eventually died of his injuries a year later. 90 pounds. 90 pounds. He's the passenger. Why are you going to beat the passenger who called 911 up? For no reason. They beat him up for no reason. So, you know,
What's up?
I found out that in Ferguson, 75% of everybody in Ferguson had a warrant.
Damn.
Yeah, and they was just revenue. They was just trying to get 75% have a warrant.
That's
the whole damn city. So
the jail will be so overpopulated.
you were saying before too about being desensitized to it all, and you said about your even friends, like you kind of forget them, even if they was to go to slammer or die. Like you just become desensitized, shit, people fall off.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of sight, it's out of mind. I mean, that's just for me personally. I mean,
what would it take, I guess, for you to say, this is it, this is enough, I can't handle this shit no more? Because you're kind of making it sound like bullets are flying all over the place, and you're just like, man, I got to whistle while I work and keep doing my thing,
That's, I mean, if you grow up in a certain environment where if it's violence all the time, or not even happening all the time, it's just something where it's happening more than what someone would consider normal. It's you're used to it.
Right. Okay, so I'm standing here at Chickasaw Park in Louisville. This is a place where Rodney Abernathy was shot and killed. And he was shot by Derek Leachman, Fred Helm, Willie Williams, and Maurice Hendricks. And Willie Williams didn't shoot. The other three guys had actually shot, but Willie Williams didn't shoot for some reason. Now, Rodney Abernathy, this was 3 a.m. This was June 25th, 2000, 3 in the morning, and he was shot 15 times. He had no weapon. They said he had like a tire iron or something. 15 times. Why would anybody have to be shot 15 times? You only need one shot to die, right? So once he's dead, the other 14 shots are just fun kill shots.
Do they say why the police was called or anything?
They didn't say any reason why the police was called. They did say like he was crazy and like he was out of control. This is what the police said, but we have no idea. We have no idea what actually happened because the other witness is dead. So the guy is dead. The police get their story together. Nobody knows what the hell actually happened. And but they didn't get their story, together very well. Willie Williams didn't shoot, so I feel like if there's, if we're all got guns and someone's coming towards us, we're all shooting. Why would one of us not shoot unless there really wasn't a danger present? So there was that, but there was also, they had pepper sprayed him. They said they hit him with batons. He was unarmed. He was unarmed, and if anything, at the very least, if I was to give them some credit, there was a mental illness. Well, tase him and get him down. Why you guys shoot him, and why you guys shoot him 15 times? And just like with the other cases, with Michael Newby, Antoine D., Clifford Lewis, the grand jury failed to indict. So the grand jury couldn't find any probable cause of a crime actually happening here in Chickasaw Park. Even though there was a dead body, they couldn't find any probable cause. It's Rodney Abernathy.
You got the people that grew up in the Middle East or in Israel and whatnot. They grew up daily with missile shells and shit exploding around them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying that it's a good thing, but it's a norm to them.
Right.
They come to a place like the West End, they'll laugh at us for our problems. You know what I'm saying?
Go to subdivisions though, and there's no gunshots every day ringing out. This isn't how other people live. I mean, this is bullshit. This pisses me off. I can't.
It is bullshit. It's bullshit. Like I don't stay down here anymore, but I only moved because I got a daughter.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm used to.
So you got up out of here?
I did. But me having a daughter was pretty much the only reason I left.
Yeah. So even though there are police brutality and violence, it's livable. I mean, I lived here for a while, so you just mind your own business. You kind of stick to your
you try to stay
own
out of the
route.
way. You stay out of the way for the most part. You might be okay.
The driver finally stopped on the Waterson Expressway and was arrested. Officers then approached Brackens, who says he had his seatbelt on and his hands up.
slamming to the ground, and then at the same time, about 3 or 4 jumping on at the same time. Then all of a sudden, I start feeling beating on me with their fists or sticks, whatever. I don't know.
He says a group of officers savagely beat him.
I mean, I'm already pinned. I can't move nothing on my body, and one just walks up and stomps my shoulder. I'm screaming, hollering, begging for my life, asking them, please don't, I ain't do nothing. I passed out.
When an ambulance arrived, an EMS worker asked an officer what he should state as the cause of Brackens' injuries. Brackens says the officer said, quote, "I don't give a blank, make up something."
So the only way that you would ever really say enough is enough is if it kind of directly impacted you.
Yeah.
Or maybe your daughter
true.
or your family.
I mean, like that, you feel that way about the violent things that happen in the neighborhood. That's why a lot of people don't really care about politics, because in their eyes it doesn't directly impact them.
It really doesn't even.
So,
That's true.
I mean, it's kind of a trickle-down effect for whatever laws or whatever they pass, you know. It doesn't directly impact you in your day-to-day living, you know what I'm saying? So it's not something you really take too much concern about.
What do you think about police brutality and race? There was a Samantha Ramsey, was a white 19-year-old girl, got shot in Boone County by a police officer over some bullshit. And it just feels like it's open season and we're just a barrel of fish, you know? We just walking out here like, I'm not strapped, I'm not ready for anything, and when the cop comes by, I'm tensed up. I feel like black folks, we both have a shit sandwich, but yours is a little bit shittier. Like, police brutality affects me, but I feel like it affects you worse. But there's common ground that police brutality is bullshit, and so that should be something that we could kind of unify.
I mean, you could try to do so, but because of the way we live, you brought up these mental barriers about, you know, this guy's white, he's different. So, you know, granted, a white person may get beat by the police. It's not something that's like a normal occurrence within the white community. You know what I'm saying? Police themselves, yeah, they know about the high crime areas and whatnot, so they already look at us a certain way when they come down there.
Which sucks for the good people, because you got to look over for your back for the police and for the criminals. You got to look over your back for everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I feel what you're saying. So you're saying that race does matter.
it shouldn't matter, but it does. It does. I mean,
because I can't stand the fucking police. You know what I mean? Like, I can't fucking stand them.
you can say you can't stand the police.
I think the police beat me up and threw me in jail, so they didn't kill me. Is that the limit? I mean, and do you see what I'm saying? Like, getting your ass kicked and thrown in jail isn't that much better. It is. I'm alive. I'm alive to talk about it. I'll admit that. But police are beating me up for walking down the street. So we need to get the police off the street. Fuck the police. Why do we have the police?
Yeah, man. Fuck the police.
He woke up in the hospital with broken ribs, a broken leg, and several other injuries. He didn't leave the hospital for 8 months.
Yeah, I'm suffering bad. Bad because of this. And I didn't do nothing at all. The Louisville Metro Police beat me up for nothing. I ended up like this. Paraplegic.
Brackens was never arrested or charged with anything. Now he's suing.
I have never personally experienced a case in which a passenger has requested help from police in a high-speed chase and was subsequently pulled out of the car and beaten by the officers he requested help from. No.
And in addition to a violation of civil rights, Brackens is also suing on account of conspiracy. His attorneys say despite their repeated requests for information, LMPD refused to turn over records for months and tried to conceal the truth.
We've seen cover-ups before. I don't believe that I have ever seen a cover-up quite of this magnitude.
Brackens wants the truth to be told and shown, and those responsible to be held accountable.
I want those guys to get some kind of rep.
Anyways, it was a bunch of plainclothes people that had jumped out.
Wilson and Dixie.
Wilson and Dixie, yeah, in Ormsby, and the White Owl Liquors. So I was just walking down the street to go to the store. There's a plain white car just sitting there, not doing anything. Nobody's crossing, so I start to cross, and then it started to do a donut, which I didn't know. I thought it was going to go straight. You ain't got blinkers on. You ain't turning left. You ain't turning right. You're going to sit there. You're going to go. So he did a donut, about ran into me, about clipped my legs, and then says, "Get the fuck out of the road." And then I just said, fuck you, not knowing who I was talking to or not knowing that it was a plain white car. There's no way in the world you could tell that it was a police. They didn't even say that they were police. So as soon as I said, fuck you, of course, in their mind, they're like, we're the cops. You can't say fuck you to us. And then they spun around and then they stopped out and they jumped. They jumped out. He had a flannel jacket and a baseball cap on. So I punched the guy, punched him in his head. And they started roughing me up a bit. Then eventually they told me there was a police, and then they tackled me. And then while I'm on the ground, they punched me right in the face, broke my nose, gave me $30,000 in medical bills, sent me to jail. I got fucked. One of the jailers stuck his finger over my butt. I mean, it was, yeah, I know, it's just fucking bullshit. I've been thinking about this shit.
He stuck his finger in your butt?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, the CO?
Yeah, just to be a fucking dick or whatever, you know, with the frisking or whatever. But like, I mean, all because I was walking down the street. Then they threw 4 charges on me, including assault of a police officer for walking down the street. They was the one jumping me. They was the one starting this shit. They was the one menacing and, you know, assaulting and resisting arrest. I was trying to arrest them fuckers, you know what I mean?
I mean, there's not too much you can do about that.
There's nothing at all I could have done about that.
Yeah, they're part of a system that empowers them to do whatever they want. You know, if they do something wrong, that system protects them.
I guess sometimes, like, you could say, I don't know. There was a white guy that had a gun. He was walking around with a gun in front of the cops. It was like, I have a right to do this. The Second Amendment. And he was tape recording them at the time.
Yeah.
And he lived. He lived.
He did not get locked up.
He didn't get shot up. You know, I would say if a brother was to do some shit like that, he dead already. You're like, what the you crazy, man?
There's several videos on YouTube you can watch of somebody doing that, demonstrating their rights to bear arms.
Yeah.
Like, police walked up on him like, sir, you know, what are you doing? You know, gave him a chance to explain what he's doing. If that was a black person, guns would have been drawn, and he would have been forced to lay those weapons down, and before he got shot, before he could explain anything.
Right.
So,
and I see the difference, but I feel like if it was me still doing it, me being a white guy, I still would be nerve-wrecked. Like, I don't know if that guy's going to shoot me. He could just pull a trigger and start shooting me. It's happened. It doesn't happen as much, but I think that there's a chance that something could have happened, but they didn't. So I don't know. I think we're just kind of splitting hairs here a little bit. But
yeah.
Would you say that it makes sense what I'm saying, that we both have shit sandwiches? Yours is shittier, but since we're both eating shit sandwiches, let's deal with this shit and stop eating shit. What are we eating shit for?
I mean,
does that make sense? Or
it does make sense, but
you don't want.
You're talking about
yeah.
Fighting against a system that was designed to make you lose.
Okay, so I'm standing here in front of the River Park Drive sign, but I don't know exactly where Desmond Rudolph was killed. It was off of River Park Drive, which actually kind of says something about the media. We got a lot of information, but we didn't actually get the exact address. Desmond Rudolph was an 18 or 19-year-old black male who was murdered by Chris Horn and Paul Kincaid, who were eventually awarded a Medal of Valor. You know, they killed Desmond Rudolph and then they got awarded a Medal of Valor, but the mayor had fired the police chief because he had awarded the Medal of Valor, and then the entire police force went on strike and they started demonstrating on the streets. So not only were the police, it was basically a coup d'etat, it was a military takeover of the entire town because the mayor controls the police, but when the police start acting on their own accord, who's going to stop them? They're the ones with the guns. So they was sitting there taking over the city, but they also had the Ku Klux Klan. So that's pretty interesting when you have police officers and the Klan marching for the exact same reasons. So it should give you, you know, some indication of which side they're actually on. Now, Desmond Rudolph, this happened in May 13th, 1999. He was driving a Chevrolet Blazer. It was near his home, his grandmother's home. There was 22 shots. 10 of them hit him in the back, and 6 bullets hit him in the head. And the grand jury again failed to indict. And the actual details of the case aren't very specific because it was in an alley. There was a witness that was there. There was Joyce Witten. Joyce Witten had witnessed it. So the actual story, he's unarmed. He has nothing there. I don't know if the car that he was actually in was stolen. But the witness said that the car was stuck in the fence. It was stuck in the fence and it was just sitting there, and the cop said, "Get out, get out." And after about 2 seconds of telling him to get out and him not getting out, they just opened fire and shot 15 times. Pow, 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 pow. But the police said that their life was in danger and they didn't know what else to do. They had to shoot him 15 times because, you know, that's what you do when your life's in danger. You just pow, 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 right? Just kind of shoot everywhere. Eventually, actually, Desmond Rudolph estate did win a $200,000 settlement. So that's a silver lining, but it's $200,000. That's what a life is worth, $200,000. I've heard people that's been locked in prison that had actually they'd been locked in prison unlawfully because they were innocent for about 7 years, wound up getting about $3 million. So if you go into prison and was unlawfully locked away, and that gets you like, you know, $3 million or so, $200,000 just a drop in a bucket for a life. So that happened on River Park Drive. Desmond Rudolph, 18-year-old Desmond Rudolph, May 13th, 1999. I was in South Louisville, and I was just walking. It was plain clothes, because I was actually comparing sort of my situation a little bit to, I think it was Clifford Lewis Jr. up there by...
I mean, everybody wants bad police officers on the street. Well, wants bad police officers off the street. But at the same time, we still need a type of police out there. We need a police there that protects us, not a police that polices us. You know?
It should be police in their own community. It should be us policing ourselves, I feel like.
I mean, that would be a good thing, too. But since that system's in place and it's going to be, I don't see any way that's going to be taken away.
I think you're right, though, like what you said to begin with, how the system was put in place specifically to make sure you lose.
Yeah.
Fugitive Slave Act. That's where the cops and the blacks, you know, black folks started kind of developing their relationship. When a black person was like, "Hey, I'm a man, I want to be free." No, 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 you can't do that. And so I think that tradition has carried on. And then there's economics and institutional racism, new Jim Crow, prisons.
Yeah, you got all that stuff, you know.
And then racism, it's still around.
Yeah, racism's involved with it, and it became profitable to actually have some type of police force in there, which helps keep the problem in play, because, oh, he can pull you over for speeding and doing this and that you may not have been doing, and they're able to collect fines from it. I mean...
Is there anything you really want to let the public know about the police brutality and...
Want to let everybody know.
West End.
Fuck the police. That's about it.